work that the W.K. Kellogg Foundation is doing in the state of Mississippi is urgent. There is a critical shortage of early childhood and childcare providers. Childcare providers are some of the lowest paid in the American workforce, a statistic that is shocking given the gravity of the responsibility they're tasked with: our children's health, safety, and their education. We know the system is broken when you can make a higher hourly wage at a fast food restaurant than caring for and educating a young child. When parents don't have childcare or there isn't a seat available in early learning programs, it can take parents out of the workforce overnight, which then affects the entire economy of the state and the country. The Kellogg Foundation is working hand in hand with its partners in Mississippi to bolster the sustainability of small business childcare providers so they can pay a living wage and keep their doors open. They are also funding organizations who are creating equitable childcare and early learning programs so that children are cared for in nurturing and stimulating environments that help prepare them for kindergarten and school success. When parents can go to work and children can go to school, everyone wins. You're about to learn the importance of childcare to our collective well-being and why it's time that we truly value our childcare workers and give them what they deserve.
The education of young children is the foundation for society, not just for our state, but for our country.
Those early years are so formative to a student when they start to develop their verbal skills, as they're working to develop motor skills, as they're exposed to print-rich environments and being read to and read with, and subsequent success as they learn to read in their elementary grades and move on to middle school and high school.
We as teachers, as advocates, as parents, are really responsible for turning on the light inside of a child so that they can really grow and thrive. And so they need social emotional supports. They need to learn how to take turns, how to lift their hand, how to use their voice, how to speak and ask questions and have freedom to express themselves.
Childcare and the childcare system is the backbone to our economy and our workforce.
When we look at barriers that contribute to people not being able to access the workforce, we frequently hear that early childhood programs or the lack of those programs create problems for folks. And in some places we run into instances where there's simply not enough childcare seats available for the folks that are in the community that want to work, but that need childcare to be able to do that.
So my mom was a low-wage worker, making $2 and about 13 cents. My mother didn't make enough money to put me in childcare. She would take me to work with her, and she would place me in the utility closet with her colleague who was taking care of me. No woman should have to choose between the job that she needs and the child that she loves, but she did what she had to do.
Childcare workers are the workforce behind the workforce because they're not seen. Oftentimes they're not esteemed as valuable, but without them, we can't run businesses. Organizations don't operate if you can't put kids where they're supposed to be.
If you don't have quality childcare that hopefully has that strong educational component, it's very hard for someone to be in the workforce today if they have children.
When we think about quality, we really think about the quality system as a whole. We want to make sure that their children can go to be taken care of and they can get to work.
So for me, an educational offering that is of quality is, number one, something that is equitably accessible for everyone, but also having an environment that cultivates a love for learning.
So right now, across the country, but specifically in Mississippi, there is a critical early childhood and childcare teacher shortage. We have heard from childcare providers across the state that they're specifically having to close their infant rooms. But if you have a child under the age of 1 or 2, it is really difficult to find childcare right now, which is putting a lot of women and a lot of parents out of work.
every organization is short workers. The staff they do have are overworked. They're closing their doors earlier. They're opening later hours because they don't have skilled workers and they don't have staff.
But the fact that there are some education requirements perhaps necessary in the early childhood space that are not necessary in the fast food industry, but the wages are higher in the fast food industry. I mean, there's a disconnect there.
I made more as a general manager for a fast food restaurant, no college degree, than what I make now as a master's degree student in the child development field working with children.
With me being a small business, I can't provide salaries like maybe the school or Head Start provide. With everything happening since COVID, it's hard to find good help and paying teachers sometimes what they're worth for us to keep running and giving the quality that the kids need that we offer.
Childcare workers are my superheroes. They mold and shape our children. They teach our children the fundamentals. They are the advocates for, those parents, but yet they don't make enough money. I mean, literally, they are making poverty wages, and yet they're investing so much into our children.
It's the child's first educational learning environment. So we are really undervaluing those who are caring for our children and the important work they're doing, like laying the foundation for our babies in the future.
We have to change the mindset of the state about what we can accomplish as opposed to what we cannot accomplish. When that happens, that's when we'll see the groundswell. That's when we'll see the things getting better. And it starts at birth. And that's why early childhood education is so important. Everything that we're doing to improve Mississippi's workforce, to improve Mississippi's image, to improve Mississippi's opportunities for our citizens all across the state.